To a new investigation from the Justice Department's internal watchdog looking into the DOJ's handling of the Epstein Files in compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Law, a law compelling the department to release records related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. The DOJ has gotten a lot of criticism over its review and release of the files. The watchdog will publish a public report on its findings, although the timeline is unclear. Let's get to Gary Grumbach right now. Now, Gary, talk to me about the kind of accountability that could result from this investigation.
So the Inspector General here is going to look into really everything that happened with the release or lack thereof of the Epstein files. Everything from the focus on the department's identification, collection, and production of these materials, looking into the guidance on what they used to redact the materials, who was redacting, when they decided to redact or not redact materials, and also look into some of the concerns that were raised about the production of these materials and sort of the release of these materials. There was a lot of concerns that were raised, especially by some of the women, some of the victims in this case, that their personal information was out there in these documents and was not redacted. And we're not just talking about names here. We're talking about addresses, cell phone numbers, emails, social security numbers even in some cases, because there were some bank records involved. So some very personal information ended up on the internet for anyone to see. Of course, the DOJ did promise complete transparency in the Epstein Files release, but then in December, they only released a few of them. So there was a real slow trickle of information, and there's still files we haven't yet even seen. Aaron?
All right, Gary, thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.